Monica Nelson, host of Arizona Living, where we help you live a better life right here in Arizona. And 2017 is the year to be organized. We are going to get some help from an expert in that area. Take a look at what's coming up on the show. Is 2017 the year you want to retire early? We've got some great tips to help you achieve that goal. Plus, learn more about Child Crisis Center and how you can help children here in the Valley that need you. And we'll stop at a restaurant that's truly cooking with fire and making some great food. All that and more coming up on Arizona Living. Okay, we're here with Andrea Brundage from Simple Organized Solutions. Thanks for being here and helping us today. Sometimes getting organized, I mean, it's an emotional commitment because it can be very overwhelming with all the stuff everywhere. How do people conquer that?
You know, part of it is just acknowledging that sometimes we might need to get some help, but also chunking down really big projects into smaller, manageable tasks. That will help us feel more in control right off the bat.
And when you talk about getting started, how does a person, obviously we'd like to do the whole house in a weekend. I mean, where should we start? How do we start?
You know, we have to set priorities on that. One of the priorities that I think is important is at your entryway, so that this sense of calm actually starts when you walk over the threshold of your home. So whatever entrance you come into, let's start there and start creating an impact that follows you throughout the house.
Okay, and you are known for turning chaos into calm.
I do that. I do that.
Would you say there are certain time limits we should give ourselves, or can you look at a room and say this will take this much time?
Not particularly. There's a roundabout, estimate kind of thing, but some people are real quick with making decisions, and other people it takes a really long time to get through some of you might end up with some emotional things, and that will always take longer than, say, junk mail.
Okay, any ideas for kids or, family things? Sometimes those are the items that you get emotionally connected to.
Yeah, so if we're talking paperwork and artwork and things like that, my favorite solution for that is to actually scan them and put them on a digital frame. And I think it's a great idea for each of the kids to have their own. So they have like this rotating display of their best work, and friends come over and they want to show it off, and it's really pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah, and then you can get rid of the original.
Mm-hmm. When we talk about being connected to things emotionally, is there a way for someone to get over that hump and purge?
It depends on what the items are, and everyone's got a different tolerance level of things in their space. If there's a heavy emotional attachment, I do not encourage getting rid of it until we're ready.
So how do we know when we need to wave the white flag, as they say, the SOS flag, and call a professional?
So if you have tried to get organized on your own and you continue starting the process and not getting through it, that's not successful. So we want successful organizing. That's when you call an organizer. We come in and we actually do assessments. We create an action plan around your family and how you flow through your family space. So we actually guide the whole process, so it makes it easier for you.
Andrea, thank you so much, and you'll be back with some more tips for us?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Have you ever had a bad experience with someone you hired for your home, or even a bad haircut? Then you know how frustrating it can be. Well, now there's a way to make sure the job gets done right the first time. Local television personality Lisa Hafner is here to tell us more about MyGuy. It's a company you are putting your face and your name behind.
Absolutely, Monica. We all have somebody we love to refer our friends to. A great electrician or a plumber, even a pet groomer, an attorney, you name it. But when you use MyGuy, you know you're getting somebody who's really good.
And how do you know they're really good?
That's a good question. We have a very stringent 8-step process that every company has to go through. They have to be licensed and bonded, have proof of insurance, have an acceptable rating with the Better Business Bureau, be in good standing with the state of Arizona and the Register of Contractors, been in the business for more than 5 years. We interviewed the owner of the company, and they have a good online reputation. But the most important step is that they're approved by their peers, members of MyGuy, who only want to be associated with the best companies in order to uphold their reputation. If someone on the MyGuy investigative board doesn't think their company's top-notch, then they just don't make our list.
Okay, so it's not as simple as, hey, pay us and you're going to be on the list.
No, not at all. MyGuy stands behind each and every company. I've used several people from the MyGuy list, and I have been so happy with the job that was done. It was done to perfection. They showed up on time. They were clean. They were friendly. And I've had friends tell me nightmares about their home improvement jobs or other services that they used. They should have used MyGuy.
Well, now, who is on the MyGuy list?
You know, we've got more than 150 companies, and we're always adding more. We've got plumbing, roofing, various home repair jobs, but when we add other categories, we've got things like hairdressers, attorneys, you name it.
So what made you decide to be the face behind MyGuy?
Honestly, Monica, I was so tired of having bad experiences with various folks I hired for jobs. You know, I paid a lot, and I often had to pay again to get the job done right the second time. And my friends have had similar experiences as well. And my dad owned his own business, and he always supported local companies. It's always good to use your neighbor.
And I hear the number to MyGuy is a pretty easy one to remember.
Remember the song, Jen, you don't change your number, I've got to make you mine. I can't sing, but you know the song, right?
Yes.
602-867-5309. Yes, 602-867-5309. And you know what I forgot to mention? The best part of MyGuy, it's a free referral service. Totally free. So the number?
867-5309.
Perfect. And you can always go to our website, myguy.com.
Great information. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Monica.
Getting organized feels so good. We have more coming up on Arizona Living. You know what else feels good? Helping to make a difference. We'll introduce you to Child Crisis Center and how you can help a child in need. And our tax expert has some great advice on early retirement. Child Crisis Center is a wonderful organization that helps children in need. Take a look at what they do and how you can help. Child Crisis Arizona provides shelter and foster care and educational services for children and families in need. Today we're at the Phoenix location, and we have 36 beds for infants, 0, 1 month old, sometimes up to 8 years old, staying here with us. We also have a site in Mesa where 42 children can stay there, and what we provide is safety. Number one, safety, compassion, and care for the children that stay with us here. What we provide is hope. It comes down to that. We're providing hope for these children. They've been in very stressful situations, and half of them will go back home, and that is the goal, is to reunite them with their family when it's appropriate. Sometimes that takes 1 year, sometimes it's 6 months. It's different for every child. So intervention is our most important thing, keeping kids safe with shelter, but we also focus on the longer term solutions like foster care and adoption.
Our start to foster care came out of a desire to be able to do more for someone else. We ended up adopting 3 kids that we fostered, and so now we've been adopted now for 3 years. So we have 6 kids now altogether. We have 5 sons and 1 daughter at the very end.
Being a foster and adoptive parent it's been a great road, it's been a hard road, it's been rewarding, it's been challenging, and I think for anyone that's thinking about how they may meet the needs of kids like these, keep that in mind. Do you have resources or love that you can share, that you could give in some way to somebody else, and just kind of search and think about what that would look like for you, and then be willing to step out and do it. But if you do come to the place where you realize, maybe actually being a foster parent isn't for me, there are other ways that you can help.
We're really excited this year. In the state of Arizona, if you pay taxes, you can direct those taxes to an agency like Child Crisis Arizona. It's called the Foster Care Tax Credit, and $500 for an individual or $1,000 of your taxes that you owe the state typically can come directly to us to help us provide for children in the foster care system. So we want to invite everybody in Arizona who pays taxes. Instead of paying these taxes to the state, our state has generously provided this foster care tax credit, and you can take those taxes and direct them directly to Child Crisis Arizona.
Our experience with Child Crisis Arizona definitely has changed our lives, and they have supported us every single step of the way. I always feel like it's the hardest thing I've ever done, but it's the best thing I've ever done too.
Dreaming of an early retirement? Well, it's not that far off if you plan correctly in 2017. Our financial expert has some valuable advice if you'd like to say goodbye to your job and on to a 24/7 vacation.
Hi, I'm Teresa Bear. I'm a CPA and a certified financial planner and an investment advisor representative for Brookstone Capital Management. I often have clients who are in their mid to late 50s and they're really starting to think about retirement and whether or not they could retire before they reach the age of 62 or 65. And they say, do I have enough money to retire? Well, there are a few things that you need to look at when you're wanting to retire before you reach the age of full retirement. One of the biggest ones is health insurance. You need to make sure that you can take care of your health insurance. Now, sometimes people have a spouse that works that can handle that, or you can look at the Affordable Care Act and look at those premiums, but that's something that can be a big expense in retirement that you need to address, since health insurance premiums for a single person are between $500 and $1,000 a month, so it's a really expensive part of the early retirement equation until you turn 65 years old. The second thing is making sure that you have money outside of your 401k plans or IRAs accounts to live on. I often see clients that have large incomes and they don't have money that's sitting in non-IRA accounts. And that tells me that they can't live beneath their means. They can't live on their retirement, and if you retire before your age 62, you don't have any Social Security options. So it's definitely something that you need to look at and look at your expenses. And one thing that can help you do this is to do a trial run. Give yourself a year and see how little that you can live on. Pretend that you are living on your retirement income before you pull the plug and say, I'm leaving this place. So it helps you in determining whether or not you can, or if you need to go back to the drawing board and assess other options. Hopefully this helps you decide if you can retire early or if you have to work a little bit longer.
Stick around, we have much more to come on Arizona Living. We have a table at a hot restaurant that's offering a twist on Mexican food. Plus, figuring out how to store stuff and be organized can be hard. Easy tips to get your house in order.
Tronco Grill is a restaurant that started a few years back with the name of Leñero Mexican Grill, from the northern Mexican style of cooking food from the states of Sonora and Chihuahua. We cook with wood fire, apple wood or mesquite, and it started because the previous owner, when he was young, his grandparents will send him to collect wood in the forest, and his grandfather told him that he was going to be the largest wood collector in the world. And he got that title now, and he built this restaurant based on that wood that he collects here in town. So that's why you can see our decoration is mainly with wood to be authentic. This year, we changed the name from Leñero to Tronco. So Tronco, it's a piece of wood. The same piece of wood that you will see around the restaurant and in our kitchen, so we can cook our great steaks and other dishes. This year also, besides changing the name, we include new art around the restaurant. So we brought the famous artist Genaro Garcia to bring his collection and decorate this restaurant, so we can, besides food, we can include some Mexican art as well. People really love the new decoration. We have 2,300 square feet of patio where people just come in, enjoy the drinks and appetizers, and enjoy the environment around it.
One of our most famous drinks is El Jarrito. That is the glass that is made of clay, which is really, really good. People love it.
We have one that they love, that is the cucumber spicy margarita, because it's very refreshing with a little bit of spice on it. Okay, let's now go into the kitchen to see what Tronco is about. So here we're cooking our famous percherón burro. Here we're cutting the avocado, and we're gonna cut some Roma tomatoes. We're gonna heat up a flour tortilla. We're gonna add mayo to it. Now we can start adding the beef, the tomato, and the avocado. Now we're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna serve it in the Genaro Garcia plates. Now we're gonna add the main ingredient of the percherón burro, which is our famous chipotle tomato sauce. To give it a little bit more flavor, we're gonna decorate it with sour cream on top and a few slices of avocado. Now our percherón burro is ready to be served.
We hope to have you here soon at Tronco Grill.
We're back with Andrea, and she is helping us get organized for 2017. It's a new year, a new us. How do we know what to get rid of, though?
Well, it's more important to know what to keep.
Oh.
Typically, we have more things we can get rid of than we really want to keep. If we look at it and we ask 4 simple questions, and that will handle just about everything in our space and on our calendar and in our lives.
And what are those 4 questions?
The 4 questions: do I love it? Do I use it or wear it? Does it serve me well? And can it serve someone else better?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's simple.
That needs to be a poster.
Isn't that simple? It works great.
Now, when you talk about storage, a lot of times we have issues with storage. There's never enough, it seems like. I get those bins and the baskets, but a lot of times I fail at those too. Are those a good idea?
They're a good idea once you have purged down to what is necessary. Oftentimes that's the first thing we do, is go out and buy bins and baskets, and we bring them into an already crowded space, and here we go into overwhelm again. Yes. So we want to get those things after we decide what we're keeping.
Okay, and label makers. Are you a label maker fan?
If I have a whole lot of time. I'm not a big fan of wasting time, especially when time is such a premium for busy families. I'm okay with a piece of tape and a Sharpie pen on it.
And do you have any special answers for people maybe with kids, or living, even their parents have moved back in? Let's just say it's a crowded space, everybody's working, they're really crunched for time. What are tips for them?
Well, the first tip is to make sure you have a family command center. And in that command center would include a large calendar that everyone's appointments can go on. If you can sync that to a smartphone situation and everybody's on board with it, that's great too. But to have a visual is wonderful. You can allocate maybe a coat closet or part of a pantry for a command center. And that's kind of where everybody goes to know where everyone is.
Okay, and for all the people at homes you've helped organize, would you say there's a common place that most people have trouble with?
There are a few common places. Paper is a big problem. Linen storage for towels and sheets is a big problem. And also clothes is a big problem.
And tell me, what would be your one go-to item you can't live without when it comes to your very organized and calm life?
That would be my paper calendar.
Oh, okay.
I love my calendar. I also do an electronic calendar as well, which seems like double work, but the reality is it works really well for tax purposes. So my calendar is my favorite tool.
Very nice. And you'll be back with more
I
tools
will.
for us
I will.
to simplify our life in 2017.
Yes.
Thanks. When we come back, paper, paper, paper. If it's taking over your house, we've got a great way to tackle it and keep it under control. And our quest for a totally organized 2017 continues. And Andrea, I've told you, paper seems to be a huge problem at my house. You even have a solution for that. I mean, think about all the junk mail that comes.
Right, so the thing with junk mail is to not let it cross your threshold. So if you can drop it off before it even gets into the house, that's ideal. Otherwise, stand right there next to the garbage can or the recycle bin and process the stuff that you don't need to keep.
Okay, and when you look through your other papers, whether it's bills, kids' school projects, what do you do with those?
So let's talk about the mail, the bills that come in. Always open those up and unfold and get rid of those extra envelopes right away. And then we have flat paper that takes up a lot less room than a stack of envelopes with folded paper. And then we drop it into one of these files. So it will either be a to-do, or a to-file, or a to-read, or maybe it's a to-scan, or maybe it's something that is going to go out to others. And so we set up file folders accordingly to the things that we need to have to process that paper out of our house.
Thank you so much for sharing all these helpful tips with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks again for joining us for Arizona Living, where we help you live your best life right here in Arizona. And happy 2017. May it be our most organized year yet.